much, now I'm swallowed. Now I'm the fool while you...
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Carly and welcome to my YouTube family. So today's video is going to be a first impression and review of some new high-end makeup that I purchased in my recent high-end makeup haul. If you haven't seen that video, check it out on my channel. I'll link it down below for you. So today I'm going to try out some new high-end products that have been raved about, including the new Jackie Aina Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. I'm really excited to try this one. And also the new Mcgrath Sublime Fetish foundation. This one has been talked about a lot and it's meant to be really beautiful on the skin, so I can't wait to try that. And quite a lot of other new products as well. I really wanted to play with some colour and do more of a darker smoky eye today, so this is the look I came up with. Absolutely love the way it came out, and the skin I think looks really beautiful and glowing as well. If you do like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below. Let's just jump straight into the video. If you'd like to see my first impression and reviews on these new high-end makeup products, then please keep watching. So first I'm going to go in with primer. I'm going to use this one by TATCHA, the Silk Canvas Primer. I absolutely love this one. This is really good for smoothing out pores, especially down the center of the T-zone, which is where I tend to get more pores. So I'm just going to blend some of this into my skin, concentrating around my nose, my cheek area, my forehead and my chin. And for foundation today, I'm going to be using this one from Mcgrath. This is the Mcgrath Labs Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation. I have the shade Medium 15. I am so excited to try this foundation. First of all, I love the packaging. It's so sleek and beautiful. This is quite an expensive foundation, so I want to see how it goes on my skin. I'm going to do one side using a brush and one side using a sponge just to see how it applies and how it looks on the skin using those two different tools. So the first I'm going to use a brush. I'm going to use this brush from Tarte. It's one of their buffing brushes. I love these brushes. And I'm just going to blend that into the skin. Now this is meant to be quite a lightweight, natural finish foundation. Mcgrath does a lot of her work on models, so she does work with quite beautiful skin. So she did create this foundation to be just very natural and skin-like. So that's how it's meant to look on the skin. So nothing too full coverage. If you're looking for full coverage, this probably won't be the foundation for you, but if you're looking for something very lightweight, natural on the skin, then this is definitely a foundation to try out. So I'm liking the way it's blending into my skin. The color matches my neck quite nicely. I do have a tan at the moment, so I didn't tan my face. That's why my face looks very white compared to my body. I'm just blending that into the skin. It's blending out really nicely. It's actually covered really well. I do have quite a few blemishes happening at the moment on my chin and on my cheek here, but it has covered it really nicely. You can still see a little bit of redness on my skin, but nothing too bad. So it's giving me quite nice coverage. I would say this is a little bit more towards the medium side, but I think you could build it up as well. So it is meant to be quite a natural foundation, but depending on how you want to use it, I think you could build it up a little bit as well. So that's one side done with a brush. So the next side I'm going to do using a Fenty Beauty sponge. So this side I'm going to blend in with the sponge and just see how this one goes. This one should make it a little bit more of a hydrating finish because I am using a damp beauty sponge, but it does blend in really nicely using the sponge as well. I definitely feel like I'm getting a little bit more of a lighter coverage using the sponge, just because the sponge does absorb a bit more of the product than the brush does. But I still think it's looking really beautiful on the skin. It has covered up this blemish on my face quite nicely. It's still obviously there, but it's not as red, so that looks a bit better. Okay, so that is one side with a sponge and one side with a brush. I do have to say I really like the finish of this foundation. It is very natural, feels very lightweight on my skin. It is a little bit more of a hydrating finish. This side looks a little bit more dewy just because I did use the damp beauty sponge. That will tend to happen opposed to using a brush, but I think it looks really nice on the skin. Definitely a bit more of a natural finish, but I think you could build this up to more medium coverage. So I'm quite happy with the way it looks at the moment. We'll have to see how it looks with the rest of my makeup, but so far it gets my tick of approval. Next for concealer, I'm going to use this one from Benefit. This is the BOI-ING Cakeless Concealer. I absolutely love the packaging. Looks like a little pencil. It's so cute. And I'm going to use the shade number 3. And I'm just going to apply this to the usual areas I like to highlight and conceal. So that's under my eye area, in the middle of the forehead, down the bridge of my nose, on the sides of the nose where I tend to get a bit more red, and also on my chin area. And I'm just going to go in with the same beauty sponge to blend that into the skin. This is meant to be more of a medium coverage concealer and a bit more hydrating of a finish as well, which I do prefer with concealers because I do have dry skin, so I don't want anything to look too matte or dry on my skin. This concealer is blending out really nicely with that foundation. I thought it was going to be a little bit light when I first put the colour on, but it actually blends in quite nicely and just kind of softens as you blend it in, so it's not too bright on the skin, which I like. Okay, so that's how the skin is looking so far. I do really like the pairing of this concealer and foundation, so that is a good plus to start with. Now going on with some powder, I'm going to be trying this one from Too Faced. This is the Born This Way Multi-Use Complexion Powder. It's a pressed powder. I haven't tried this one before, and I'm using the shade Sand, which does match the Too Faced foundation that I usually use in the Born This Way one, so hopefully this is going to work really well for me. I'm just going to use a big powder brush. This is a Morphe R2, and I'm just going to lightly dust this over my skin. I don't like to use too much powder just because I do have dry skin. I don't want to accentuate any dryness, so I just like to lightly tap over and blend into the skin. That way it just gives a really nice, soft, subtle setting powder finish and nothing too drying. When I'm using more cream and liquid products, I probably don't even really tend to powder my face at all. Only usually down the center of the face, like the forehead, nose and the chin, where it can tend to get a little bit shiny. But if I'm using more cream products, I probably won't set my face too much at all. Being more dry, you definitely want as much glow on your skin as possible. But for today, I'm using more powder products, so I didn't want to powder my face. But that powder looks really nice. It's blended in nicely with the concealer and the foundation, so loving that so far. For bronzer, I'm going with my favorite bronzer at the moment, the Fenty Beauty Sunstalker Bronzer. I have the shade Island Ting. And this is what it looks like here. It's a beautiful warmer toned bronzer. And I'm just going in with a Morphe bronzing brush, and I'm just going to bronze up my skin just to give a bit more colour back into my skin. I don't want to look too flat, which can happen when you do your foundation, concealer and powder. So bronzer is always a really good option to bring some colour and dimension back into the skin. And I always like to bronze around my temples and forehead. I just find it gives that really nice natural sun-kissed look. And I'm also going to take some of that bronzer on a MAC 217 brush, and I'm just going to use that to just contour down the sides of my nose. I do like to use the same shade that I bronze in. I just find it looks more uniform and kind of complements the whole makeup look. And I do always like to go in with my beauty blender just to soften that out a little bit, just so it blends in nicely with the skin. Now for blush, I'm really excited to try this one from Charlotte Tilbury. This is one of the Cheek to Chic blushes in the shade Pillow Talk. I absolutely love the look of this blush. It's just a beautiful, soft, natural rosy pink tone. I absolutely love this color. And I'm just going to dust a little bit of that on my cheeks with this MAC 137. It's a really beautiful, soft blush brush. And just dusting that on the cheeks. This gives like the perfect, soft rose glow on the cheeks. I really, really like the look of this shade. I always like to go back in with my powder brush just to make sure everything's blended in together beautifully. So I just like to tap over the blush and bronzer together. And for highlighter, I'm going into the Benefit Cheek Leader Bronze Palette, and I'm going to use the shade Cookie here, which just looks like such a beautiful champagne gold tone color. And I'm just going to highlight the high points of the face, so on top of the cheekbones. Oh wow, that's stunning. It's such a pretty shade. And I always like to highlight on top of the brows, just to where the light would naturally hit the skin, and also down at the bridge of the nose, on the tip of the nose, and on the cupid's bow. And that just gives a beautiful glowing look to the skin. Okay, so I'm going to zoom you in now so we can get up close and do the brows and the eyes. So for the brows today, I'm going to be using the Fenty Beauty Brow Definer. So this is the Brow MVP Ultra Fine Brow Pencil and Styler. So I've got the shade Dark Brown. So I'm just going to go underneath the brow first and just map out the shape that I want to create. And then I go on top of the brow just to get that shape that I'm wanting. And then I like to go through and start flicking the brow pencil along to create more natural brow hairs. You can just see the difference from one brow to the other. And then on the end of this brow pencil is this little brow styler here. So what you can do is use this to just make sure all the brow product is dispersed evenly in the brows. It just kind of helps to shape your brows in place as well. So there we go. I always love doing a brow. It just makes your eyes look a little bit more open as well. So I do have more hooded eyes. I find doing my brows just kind of lifts my eye a little bit, just makes it look like I have a little bit more space than what I do. Okay, brows are done. So to clean up under the brow and to also use as a base on the eyelid, I'm going to be using the P. Louise makeup base. This is in the shade RUMOUR 02. See if that will focus. I haven't used this one before, so it's my first time trying it, so I'm really excited to try it out. I'm using a MAC. This is a 252 flat concealer brush. I'm just going to use that to go in and define under the brows, and to also bring this down onto the lid as a base. I'm just patting that product into the eye. This just allows it to have that tacky consistency, which is going to help the eyeshadows to really stick onto the eyelid. And for the eyes today, I'm going to be going in with the Jackie, Aina and Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. I'm really excited to try this one out. I haven't used it before, and the packaging on this is so beautiful. So many beautiful bright colors in this palette. I really want to try this beautiful green brown reflect shade here. So I'm really excited to try that. And then I'm going to use some of the beautiful matte warm tones as well. So I'm first going to pick up the shade Ginger, which is this beautiful caramel brown shade here. And that's going to be my transition shade in the crease. So using my Morphe, this is an M441 brush, I'm going to start blending that right in the upper crease area. These shadows are very, very pigmented. I've used quite a lot of Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes. I do own quite a lot, and I do know that her palettes are definitely very, very pigmented. And I'm just going to bring that down onto the outer corner a little bit as well. I do want this to be quite a smoky look, so I'm going to bring it out a little bit further in the outer corner. Next I'm going to go in with the shade Edges, which is more of a terracotta red-brown tone. I'm going to apply that more directly into the crease, just to give it some more definition. And next I'm going to go in with this shade Credit, which is a more chocolate deep brown shade. And I'm going to use that more in the outer corner of the eyes. Just to really deepen up and make that outer corner look nice and smoky. And going back into that P. Louise base, I'm just going to cut the crease and give a bit more definition for where I'm going to apply that green brown shimmer shift shade. So using the same MAC brush, I'm just going to carve out the crease. Now going in with this shade Sponsored, this really beautiful reflective green brown tone, and I'm just going to pack that shade from the inner corner to about the middle of the lid. It even has a slight shift of gold as well. It's such a beautiful, unique colour. It's so pretty. And I'm just going to go back in with the dark brown shade Credit, just to darken up the outer corners and blend in to that beautiful shimmering green shade. And I'm also going to go in with that first light shade Ginger, just to blend out edges and make sure everything's just blended in beautifully together. And next I'm going to use the Huda Beauty, this is the double-ended, the Life Liner, and I'm going to use the liquid side first, just to do some liner across the top lash line. I'm not going to do a wing, I just want to do it across the lash line, so when I put the lashes on it's just going to blend in and not have any space on the eyes. On the lower lash line I'm going to start with the shade Ginger. And I'm going to bring this down a little bit further just because I want it to be really smoky and sultry. And just going in with the shade Edges as well, just to darken that up a little bit more. And I'm just going to use this Laura Mercier Caviar Stick Eye Crayon in the shade Cocoa, which is a beautiful dark shimmer brown. I'm just going to apply this right in the waterline, just to give that more dramatic look. I'm going to use the Too Faced Damn Girl Mascara on my top and bottom lashes. And to really make the inner corner pop, I'm going to use the Artist Couture. This is one of the Diamond Lights finishes in the shade Golden Hour, which is a beautiful gold shade. Just popping that right in the inner corner. And for lashes, I'm going to use these Envy lashes. These are in the style Serene. These are just such beautiful long wispy lashes, so I'm going to put those on and I'll be right back. These lashes are so beautiful. They just add so much extra drama and just finish off the look beautifully. So moving on to lips, I'm going to line my lips first with the Charlotte Tilbury lip liner in the shade Pillow Talk. This is one of my favorite nude lip liners to use. And I'm also going to fill in my whole lips with this as well. Gives a beautiful soft nude matte pink look. And on the top I'm going to apply the new Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Diamonds lipstick. This looks absolutely beautiful. It's a beautiful pink with some gold reflex in it. I'm going to apply that straight on top. Oh, I love that colour. Just gives a beautiful reflect, not too glittery, not shimmery, but just looks really, really subtle and metallic on the lips. So I love that colour. I think it complements the colours on the eyes beautifully as well. And then just to set my face, I'm going to go in with the MAC Fix Plus in Gold Light and just set everything, give a bit more glow to my skin. So this is how the makeup turned out. I absolutely love the eyes. I love that green gold brown reflect color. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. This would be a perfect look for a night out, going to an event or a party. I think it would look really beautiful. You can definitely change up the lip color to a different shade of nude if you like, or even a brighter color if you want to do something more bold. But I think this is definitely a beautiful way to wear some color on the lids using the green shade in the Jackie Aina palette. I think it looks stunning. I really, really loved this palette. The formula of the eyeshadows is so beautiful, really blendable, just like all of Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes really. Very, very pigmented, so you do need to only use a very light hand, but I do love all of the shades in this palette. I played with some of these shades around here today, so I definitely want to try some more of the purpler tones as well, because I do love purple makeup looks, but I really, really, really loved using this palette today. I do have to say I love this foundation from Pat McGrath. After seeing it with the whole makeup look, I think it looks really beautiful on my skin. It does give that more natural light to medium tone coverage, but I do think you can build it up a little bit more. It did give me quite nice coverage. It does have that beautiful, little bit more of a hydrated glow finish to it for that more supermodel skin look that I know this foundation was created for. So it is a bit more on the expensive side, but if you are wanting to try out a really natural, lightweight foundation, I would definitely recommend trying this one. I think it looks so beautiful on the skin. I love this lip combo look. I think that Charlotte Tilbury Diamonds Pillow Talk lipstick is so beautiful. It's just such a lightweight wearing lipstick. It actually smells like candy and it tastes like candy. It's so beautiful. And I just love that it has a slight hint of shimmer, nothing too glittery or full-on metallic, just very natural. So it just gives that little bit of sheen on the lips, which I think looks beautiful. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below. Let me know in the comments section what videos you would like to see next, which products you might like me to try out in a new video from my past makeup hauls. I did have a high-end and a drugstore makeup haul, so let me know in the comments below what products you would like to see me use in a makeup tutorial next from those products. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.